The growing condemnation of Israeli actions in Gaza by key allies like Australia and Belgium has exposed cracks in America's traditional united front with Western democracies. By publicly aligning with Palestinian voices, these nations are testing the limits of dissent against Washington's unwavering policy. A bold move that could spark a global diplomatic showdown. Belgium has boldly stepped into the international spotlight with an unprecedented and unwavering stance against Israel's actions in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, capturing global attention. In a departure from the prevailing narratives of support or neutrality adopted by many nations, Belgium has emerged as a vocal advocate for imposing severe sanctions. This forceful condemnation is rooted in Belgium's deep concern, particularly regarding Israel's alleged targeting of hospitals and humanitarian shelters in the conflict zone. The stark contrast of Belgium's position emphasizes the gravity of its condemnation and signifies a break from the diplomatic norm. At the heart of Belgium's stance lies a resolute position against Israel's conduct, specifically highlighting the alleged targeting of critical civilian infrastructure. This principled stand has thrust Belgium into the international spotlight, sparking debates on how the global community should respond to Israel's actions in the ongoing conflict. Reports of targeted hospitals and humanitarian shelters have not only resonated within Belgium, but have also triggered global concern. If these allegations are substantiated, they would constitute clear violations of human rights and international law. Belgium's leaders have vocalized their condemnation, framing it not only as disapproval of Israel's military operations, but also as a reaffirmation of their commitment to humanitarian principles and respect for international law. Belgium's decision to advocate for severe sanctions against Israel reflects a tangible commitment to taking concrete measures against what it perceives as unjust military strategies in the conflict. This departure from diplomatic rhetoric, often characterized by strong statements with limited follow-up actions, underscores the gravity of Belgium's concerns. While the specific details of these proposed sanctions are yet to be fully disclosed, their severity implies that Belgium is prepared to exert significant economic and diplomatic pressure on Israel. Potential measures may include trade restrictions, diplomatic isolation, or other punitive actions aimed at compelling a re-evaluation of Israel's military strategies. Notably, Belgium's advocacy for severe sanctions is particularly striking given its historical alliance with Israel, dating back to its pivotal role in the UN's decision to partition Palestine in 1947. The willingness to challenge a historical ally underscores the depth of Belgium's concerns regarding Israel's actions, showcasing a bold and principled stance in navigating the complexities of geopolitical relationships. Belgium's recent courageous stance against Israel signals a profound shift in the international arena. Nations are increasingly prioritizing contemporary moral imperatives over historical loyalties, urging a re-evaluation of alliances. Belgium's unwavering commitment to a just and peaceful resolution serves as a clarion call for other nations to reconsider their allegiances and take decisive actions against perceived injustices. In an unprecedented move, Belgium advocates for severe sanctions against Israel, potentially setting a groundbreaking precedent in international relations. The world watches attentively as other nations contemplate their responses to Belgium's position, recognizing that these reactions could reshape diplomatic dynamics in unpredictable ways. Should other nations align with or support Belgium, it might signify a sweeping reconsideration of the global response to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Belgium's example has the potential to inspire countries to prioritize human rights concerns over geopolitical considerations, considering the established order and fostering a principled approach to conflicts on a global scale. This paradigm shift could trigger alterations in the distribution of power and influence in the intricate landscape of global politics. Crucially, public opinion within Belgium has played a pivotal role in shaping the government's stance on Israel. The majority of Belgians have condemned Israel's actions, echoing a broader global sentiment against violence targeting civilians in conflict zones. This growing awareness and emphasis on human rights may serve as a catalyst for other nations to adopt a similar approach in their foreign policies, initiating a ripple effect that could redefine how countries engage with global conflicts and human rights issues. Meanwhile, in Australia, recent decisions to censor specific content have ignited discussions on the delicate balance between freedom of expression and diplomatic considerations. Perceived by some as censorship and by others as a necessary diplomatic measure, Australia faces mounting pressure from its citizens regarding its ties with Israel. Widespread protests are calling for a decisive action against Israel's actions in Gaza. The Australian government grapples with this complex situation, feeling pressure from both sides of the debate. As the discourse intensifies, the issue of censorship and freedom of expression is poised to remain contentious for the foreseeable future. Australia's unique approach, which includes recognizing the situation in Palestine as a form of colonialism, restricting specific language to describe the conflict, and disclosing military trade deals, could have far-reaching implications for its relationship with Israel. The coming years are likely to witness the unfolding impact of Australia's distinct diplomatic stance on the global stage. Belgium's contemplation of imposing severe sanctions on Israel represents a distinctive approach to diplomatic engagement, potentially signaling a shift in international relations. The consideration of recognizing Palestine as a state adds another dimension to this evolving relationship, with the potential to reshape the geopolitical landscape. These diplomatic shifts from Belgium and Australia contribute to the evolving narrative surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The global community closely watches as these nations navigate diplomatic complexities while responding to increasing calls for justice and accountability. The palpable potential for a change in the international response to the conflict hinges on how other nations react to these bold moves. Belgium's consideration of severe sanctions and the contemplation of recognizing Palestine as a state, along with Australia's unique stance, introduces nuanced elements to the global discourse. These developments may have a profound impact on the future of the region and the broader international community. Whether these shifts result in tangible actions such as sanctions or changes in diplomatic relations remains to be seen. However, Belgium and Australia have unmistakably taken distinct approaches, injecting complexity and depth into the ongoing conversation on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Belgium's willingness to challenge its long-standing allies stems from its condemnation of Israel's alleged targeting of hospitals and humanitarian shelters in the conflict zone. This reflects Belgium's commitment to human rights and dissatisfaction with the prevailing situation. The shared concern for humanitarian issues unites Belgium and Australia in their support for Palestine, going beyond symbolic gestures to concrete actions. Belgium, for instance, not only condemns alleged actions, but also provides substantial humanitarian aid to Palestinians. In the intricate landscape of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Belgium and Israel find common ground in their steadfast commitment to addressing humanitarian issues. The complex and deeply entrenched nature of the conflict, a source of tension and violence for decades, contributes to the varying perspective on the United States' stance. Some argue that the U.S. seemingly disregards Palestinian lives due to a shared goal with Israel in countering what they perceive as a significant threat from Hamas. It's accurate to state that the U.S. and Israel share concerns about Hamas activities, considering it a threat to their respective security interests. The long-standing alliance between the U.S. and Israel involves a collaboration in various arenas, including the military and intelligence sectors, to address common challenges in the volatile Middle East. The perception of the United States disregarding Palestinian lives is rooted in the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the strategic alignment between the U.S. and Israel. In the dynamic narrative of the Israel-Palestine conflict, countering the influence of Hamas has emerged as a shared global objective. The conflict's evolution, shaped by diverse priorities such as security, economic development, territorial disputes, and political power struggles, introduces a nuanced perspective. External factors like international relations and regional tensions further complicate this geopolitical issue. Amidst the complex dynamics, a growing sentiment suggests that the actions of the United States and Israel might be exacerbating the conflict, neglecting the well-being of the Palestinian people. However, beacons of hope emerge in the form of nations like Belgium and Australia actively working to support the Palestinian population. This sparks a crucial question. Can the involvement of diverse nations contribute to resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict? Divergent opinions exist, with some contending that US and Israeli actions complicate matters, sustaining the conflict. There's a prevailing perception that the current approach may be fueling ongoing regional challenges. Insufficient international concerns for those affected by the conflict adds layers of complexity hindering resolution efforts. A lack of care and consideration creates additional obstacles to finding common ground and pursuing a mutually beneficial resolution. Enter Belgium and Australia, offering a glimmer of hope by actively engaging and supporting the resolution of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Their involvement underscores the importance of international cooperation, addressing the concerns of both sides to pave the way for lasting peace in the region. Navigating the challenging road ahead requires sustained dialogue and collaboration. By acknowledging the intricate realities of the situation and fostering cooperative efforts, transformative change becomes a possibility, benefiting both Israelis and Palestinians. As we delve into these complexities, we invite you to share your insights. Should more countries stand with Palestine? What if more nations stood against Israel? Could the US potentially sanction its allies for supporting Palestine? Your thoughts shape this ongoing conversation. Feel free to drop your comments below, and if you found this discussion intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Together, let's explore the layers of this intricate geopolitical narrative.